What if there was no flame to warm the night? No sparks to harden the spear? What if the earliest humans never mastered fire, and instead faced predators, storms and darkness armed with nothing but stone instinct and each other? A low sun sinks behind the horizon, bleeding gold across the open grasslands. Shadows stretch long, and with them the danger thickens. A band of Australopithecus afarensis, 9 in total, scrambles through brittle brush feet, hardened from endless travel backs, hunched beneath bundles of gathered roots and foraged leaves. No fire greets them at nightfall. No smoke signals safety. Just the sound of wind and the rustle of something large trailing them. They had moved since dawn. A sharp drop in temperature days earlier had forced their retreat from a highland plateau where frost killed the fruit trees and predators came down from the ridges. Now they cross a dried-out riverbed that splits the plain like a scar. The matriarch leads older, slower, but with eyes that never stop scanning. Behind her, a juvenile male carries an infant lashed to his chest in a wrap of dry reeds. 2 young females pull up the rear, dragging bundles of palm fronds used for bedding and crude stone scrapers still stained with marrow. A shriek tears through the dusk. Not one of them, but above. A crested serpent eagle circles overhead. It's not hunting them, it hunts what follows them. The matriarch's pace quickens. They reach the overhang just as the last light dies, a natural rock shelf above a narrow crevice in the slope. It's not a cave. It won't block the wind. But it's shelter. The group piles into the shadow of the stone wall, pressing together for warmth. One of the males digs with a flat stone, carving out a shallow depression for the infant. No one sleeps. Not yet. Suddenly, a low growl rumbles from the grass. The young male stiffens. Eyes flash, ears perk. The matriarch raises a hand, flat, slow signaling stillness. Out of the darkness, amber eyes appear. A single hyena. Then 2 more. Not a pack yet, but scouts. Drawn by scent. Drawn by weakness. They have no fire to drive them back. No flaming branch to hold high. Only stones, bones, and numbers. Without a word, the group shifts. The juvenile male grabs a thick femur from a carcass scavenged days ago. A female tears bark from a bundle, tying sharpened flakes of rock into a club. Another uses her own body to shield the infant. They stand, not tall, not strong, but together. A sudden bluff screeching cries, pounding feet, aggressive rush. The hyenas recoil for now, confused. But not gone. That night they take turns watching. Every shadow is a threat. Every gust of wind a false alarm. Without fire, sleep comes in fragments. Fear is a constant pulse. But they survive the night. At dawn, the matriarch finds cat tracks, Smilodon. Closer than expected. No time to rest. They must move again. West, toward the forest fringe where roots grow thicker and predators are fewer. But the rains gather. Storm clouds brew over the horizon. They walk into the unknown. No flame to guide them. Only memory, instinct, and each other. The rains arrive without warning. The flatlands vanish beneath sheets of silver. Water floods the old riverbed behind them, washing away their tracks, along with any chance of returning. Thunder groans like a wounded beast overhead, and the savanna becomes a maze of mud and panic. The band of Australopithecus presses forward, legs trembling, arms wrapped around soaked bundles of leaves, roots, and sharpened stone. No fire means no drying what is wet, no warmth for the young. The infant's wrap is soaked through, and the baby's breath comes shallow and uneven. The young female cradling him tightens her grip, muttering nothing, just rocking gently as they move, trying to mimic comfort in a world that offers none. They reach the forest edge by midday. The downpour softens into mist, but the forest itself is darker, dense, humid, unfamiliar. The light barely cuts through the canopy, but it also muffles noise. It hides them. The matriarch stops before a fallen tree half-rotted and covered in fungus. She kneels, pushes aside bark, and reveals the gleam of larvae, pale fat, squirming. Protein. She beckons. One by one they gather and eat. The young female feeds the infant a pulped mix of tuber and crushed worm, primitive but nourishing. The baby's breathing steadies. The moment of peace doesn't last. From deep within the underbrush, a scent drifts, acrid, rotting feline. The matriarch's nose twitches. She's smelled this before. The others stop chewing. All eyes look toward the shadowed thickets beyond the tree line. And then they see it. A massive male smilodon, its canines curving like daggers from its jaw, steps silently into view. No roar, no charge. It watches, deciding. The band freezes. The young male reaches for a branch, brittle and useless. The others grab stones. But none run. They form a crescent around the infant. Heartbeats thunder louder than the storm had. The smilodon takes one slow step forward. The matriarch does not wait. She lifts a palm leaf, wide, waxy, still wet, and with both hands snaps it down hard against the hollow log. The sound echoes through the forest, sharp and sudden. She does it again. Then again, others join her, beating branches, shrieking, slapping the trunks, creating chaos. It's not fire, but it is fear. The predator flinches, not afraid, but uncertain. These are not passive prey. They do not flee. They make sound. They unite. The smilodon snarls, then slowly melts back into the forest, swallowed by shadow. The group collapses, some from relief, others from exhaustion. The rain returns gentler this time and washes over them like absolution. Later they find a shallow cave nestled beneath thick vines. It's damp but safe. They scrape dry leaves into mounds, curl together and rest. No fire flickers, but their survival does. In the absence of flame, they create rhythm. A rotation of centuries, shared silence, a new kind of warmth, not from embers, but from contact, from instinct, from an unspoken will to live. The storm passes, but tomorrow brings hunger and the threat of another tribe. Dawn breaks, not with color, but with a muffled grayness filtered through dense fog. The group stirs beneath the vine-draped cave limbs, aching stomachs empty. The infant coughs, but the sound is dry. The matriarch is first to rise. She scans the horizon, listening not just for predators, but for something far more dangerous in these lands, others. For days they've walked territory, no longer theirs, pushed west by weather, hunted by beasts, and now edging dangerously close to the range of a rival band. Signs are clear. Cracked stones arranged deliberately by a stream, stripped bark peeled in human patterns, and just beyond the next ridge a scent of smoke. Smoke. Not from wildfires, not from lightning, but from control. The rival band has fire. This band does not. The matriarch doesn't show it, but the realization tightens her throat. The balance has shifted. The ones beyond the hill sleep in warmth, cook their meat, burn their tools to harden them. ward off beasts with flame. They are different. They are more than mere Australopithecus. They are the future. The matriarch's band, meanwhile, clings to the old way. Sharp stones, group instinct, cold endurance. They cannot challenge the fire-makers, but they cannot retreat either. The young male spots movement near the stream, a small animal porcupine-like drinking. With practiced silence, he signals a flanking route. The others fan out. No fire means no trap, no baited scent. Only the hunt, as it has always been, raw, silent, immediate. A rock arcs through the mist. The creature shrieks. Another rock strikes. Then another. It collapses. A crude success. They devour it, raw sinew still twitching. No warmth to soften it. No flame to cleanse it. But it is food. Life. Continuance. The matriarch eyes the smoke again, rising like a column of defiance from behind the ridge. They could go to them, beg, watch, learn, or they could vanish, fade into the forest, deeper into the wetland fringes, farther from the flame and from history. But she does something else. From a bundle tucked at her hip, she pulls a stone smooth black volcanic. Obsidians aren't found here. She carried it from a place long ago, highland ash fields where lightning struck trees and made the world smell of char and heat. She rubs it against another stone, flintier pale. Nothing. Again. A spark. Just once. A breathless moment. Then darkness again. But the others saw it. They gather closer. No words, no awe, just recognition. Possibility. That night, as they huddle again beneath the vines, the matriarch does not sleep. She rubs stone against stone. Again. Not for warmth, not for comfort, but because in a world of predators, storms, and fire-bearing rivals, the only path forward is to become something more. The infant sleeps soundly in his mother's arms. The stars overhead burn cold. But below, in silence and struggle, the first flickers of change begin not from fire, but from the will to make it.